What's happening, fanatics? Your boy Genovic here. Today I thought I was gonna have another basement session, talk about the gear I like to use for pike fishing. So I have two gears. I have a spinning setup and I have a bait casting setup. The bait casting setup I'm using is for heavier pike lures, and the spinning setup is for lighter pike lures. And what I use is that I have a reel for the heavy pike setup. It's a 5000 series Ambassador, Abu Garcia Ambassador. It's a bait casting reel, that's what I'm using. But any reel in that size that's a bait caster will work fine. As line, I'm using braid. You can use Suffix. There's also good, what was the name of Suffix? There is a fire braid, that's good also. And also another line that's good, that's Power Pro. And I'm using the 0.35 millimeter thickness, and that thickness is more to get baits that get stuck in stuff in the bottom to come out. It's not for actual size and strength of the fish. And then as we move up, the rods I like to use are between 7 and 9 feet. The 8.6 and 9 feet I use usually for heavy shads, bigger soft baits, to get that casting distance and also to get good, get it out good. The 7 feet I use more if tight corners, close to trees and stuff. But my favorite I would say is 8. That's what I have here in my rod sock pocket bag. That's an 8-feeter, and that's good for boat fishing and for land fishing. And in the spinning, in the heavy bait casting setup, I have from 50 to 150. So I would say from 50 to about 150-200 grams will work fine for the heavy setup. When it comes to the lighter setup, my spinning reel, I have a Daiwa Black and Gold 3000 series. I like that reel. It's popular for saltwater fishing. But you can also use, of course, any other reel, and use the 4000 size is good. The Daiwa, since they're so big in size, the 3000 is enough. I'm using 0.25 millimeter braid, same as the other brands as the heavy setup. And as a rod, I'm using an 8-feet rod. Again here, if you want to, you're always fishing from land, you need distance, go for the 9 feet. If you're only fishing from boat in tight corners, so to speak, grass, trees around, you don't have too much room to play, I would use a 7-feeter. And grams here, I would say from 20-30 grams up to 50-60 is a good weight distribution. And with these two setups, you have the whole spectrum from light to heavy pike lures covered. And then I was gonna show you, I'll lift here the camera. I used to like this, here are my rods. I have this from Berkeley, a rod bag. I have two, both setups fit in here. And as you can see here, I have a little bead and a line stopper, and this I use so I protect my top ring so I don't hurt the ceramic in there, because I've had it actually break on me. So I have that on both rods. And then I'm going to show you my leader material. Here we have the leaders, and I always have these in my, as I showed in the last video, in my lure box. And I have two setups. I have a 30-pound wire leader, and this is 50 centimeter long. And here I have this type of bait clip, and then I have this type of this is a size 4 BFT stay lock bait clip, and this is a swivel in size 6, also from BFT brand. And as you can see, I use crimps. I put sleeves over the crimps that I use tubing on to give them a more nicer presentation. This is for the light spinning setup. For the heavy pike setup, I have more or less the same clip and swivel, but the difference, I use 1.0 millimeter monofilament, and I also use 50 centimeters. And the reason I have these two setups is that this is more resistant to, if you throw a heavy lure and you get a professional overrun and where it tangles up, it doesn't snap off. While there's a risk if you throw a heavy lure and it gets tangled, your reel, you might snap off. And also I've noticed that when you have those heavier lines, bigger lures, you have a more, how would I say, this cuts the water less, so it doesn't go as deep. And not only that, I like it because since it's so strong, it's shock absorbent. Like I said, if you have a problem with a professional overreel, you won't snap off. So these are my two leaders. And then I want to show you some extra gear that I think all pike fishermen should have. A long handled, what do you call this, plier to take out hooks. This is like a necessary. Then I have a fish handling glove, as you can see here, and this is brand Wonder Grip Thermo Plus. It's got nice latex here, and so I don't cut my fingers, and I also don't slip. I can handle the fish properly when I take the gill grip, under the gill, so to speak. And then we'll continue. I have a cloth to dry my hand, you know, if something gets dirty, or I got pike slide. And then I've got, I'll open my little box here. Now this scissors is broken, but this is good for braid. I got a pair of pliers to cut hooks and wire if I need to. A knife, always good to have when you go fishing. I have a support for my wrist. If I throw heavy lures all day long and I get tired, then I can just put this on. And it gives a bit of support during these long, heavy sessions of pike fishing, and your wrist might get tired. And then I have a headlamp in this little pouch over here. Good when, you know, early in the morning or when you're going home later during the evening, you get some light so you can see where you're going. And yeah, so that's that. And then I have a bag here, a blue IKEA bag that I keep all my stuff in. And then you can have another separate IKEA bag like this, so you can weigh fish in it. And also when you handle fish on, like for example, yeah, you're in the boat, it's hot, the floor, or you're on some gravel, you can put the fish on this so it protects the scales, the slime coating of the fish. And then it's good to have a scale, obviously, to weigh the fish in this bag here. And also you have I like those rulers that are like wide, and you can roll them out and you can see how long the fish is, and also make sure it's wet before you take the length of the fish. But that also gives it extra protection from the surface it's lying on. And yeah, guys, that yeah, sorry, I also forgot about this. I have a first aid kit in case I cut myself, a hook goes in my hand or whatever. It's always good to have. And besides that, I have, yeah, that's the stuff I like to use for pike fishing. So if you have any questions, comments, please drop them below. Otherwise, take care, and I'll see you soon in another Fanatic Fishing episode.